Hey guys, I'm Jax, and this is my video for Every Year a Movie, where I list my favourite film from every single year since I was born. Is this list going to be short and snappy? You bet, because I'm young and youthful, and I'm definitely not almost 30, existential dread, definitely not kicking in. 1993, Jurassic Park. This film is such a magnificent movie. It's so beautiful. It's such a great combination of animatronics and visual effects and all the things. But mostly, I just love seeing dinosaurs run about. The T-Rex has got little hands and he can't get in the car, so he's using his big chompy teeth. And just, there's that frilly dinosaur where it's all like... Love it! 1994, The Lion King. This could be one of my favorite films of all time, if not my favorite. I love this film so much. Every single second of it is so perfect. Every single song is so unique and different, but so beautiful. Every single moment is just so stunning. There's so much going on with this film. I love the story. It's like Hamlet or Macbeth or, one of those Shakespearean thingies or whatever. But the lions, and there's that monkey in the fight scene, he's all like, what? 1995, Jumanji. I love the idea of this movie, the idea of a board game coming to life and there's all animals are running about, the CGI monkeys being like, look at us, we're CGI monkeys, I love it, it's crazy. Robin Williams is so funny as always, but so heartbreaking and devastating in this role. It is such a tragic, intense film, and the little boy turns into a monkey. What more do you want? 1996, Scream. What's your favorite scary movie? Scream. It's probably Scream, but not the new Scream, where they just called it Scream again, Scream 2022. Just, Scream, original recipe Scream, 1996, Scream. It's good. 1997, Batman and Robin. I think this film is an underappreciated comedic masterpiece. I love what's going on in this film. It's so overly colorful and insane and crazy, but unlike Batman Forever, which Jim Carrey's going, oh, Jim Carrey! It's got Arnold Schwarzenegger doing horrific ice puns. Uma Thurman I don't even know what she's doing. Bane is ridiculous and stupid. There is just so much color and madness and insanity going on. We've got the Bats card. We've just got ice skates on their suits. There's so much going on. It's so funny. It's ridiculous. Do I love this film ironically, or do I just love it? I have no idea at this point, but I love it. 1998, Saving Private Ryan. This film is absolutely harrowing, devastating, traumatic. The filming of the battle scenes is incredible, but it's so harrowing. It's so intense. It's a real hard film to get through just because it's so well made, but it is really intense. I just find all the themes and ideas going on, all the performances spectacular. Visually, it looks breathtaking, but in that kind of awful, tragic, horrible way, it is kind of a perfect film. It's magnificent. 1999, The Matrix. The Matrix is a perfect movie. It's such an incredible world. The performances, the style of action where they're all doing kung fu and flipping and doing, spinny things. You've seen the movie. I don't even know what to say. Everyone knows why this movie is amazing and why it would be on someone's list of best films of the year. And it's a year of lots of great films, but The Matrix is something where every time I revisit it, I'm so shocked by how good it is. I'm just oh my god, this is perfect. This is insane. I love it. I love that bit where he's I know kung fu now. And other bits. There are other bits that are also good. 2000, Snatch. Guy Ritchie has this amazing ability to make gangster films so fun and lively, even though they're all criminal slime bags. Or every character in all of his movies is so an old school medieval character where they're I'm Sir Gregory the Brave because I'm brave. But in Guy Ritchie's films, they're always I'm Three Finger Jimmy. And they're why are you called Three Finger Jimmy? And he's because I got 3 fingers. I love it. Everyone's got ridiculous names. The vibrant, ferocious kind of energy that the films has are so infectious, and this one's the best, but this is almost kind of a achievement award for all his gangster films, because he's made 5 of them that are pretty much the same. I love them all, but this one's probably my favorite. Brad Pitt's performance is just so good. I love every single aspect of this film. It's amazing. 2001, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. 2002, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. 2003, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. No, The Return of the King, The Return of the... These are the best films, in my opinion, ever made. I love every single second of these films. The whole Lord of the Rings trilogy is just perfect, in my opinion. My favorite would be Fellowship of the Ring, but overall, these films are why I love filmmaking and why I love films, and they're not even films to me. Like, I feel like I live and breathe little hobbits running about being like, we've got a ring, put it in the big monster thingy, put it in the fire. 2004. Now, I couldn't decide in this one between The Incredibles and Shaun of the Dead because they're both kind of perfect films I love in so many different ways. So I was like, well, I won't pick either of them, and I'll pick Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. The first one, the one where he's all like, I'm Jack Sparrow, I'm doing a crazy pirate thingy. And everyone's like, we love this. I loved it. Now, a keen-eyed viewer might be like, hey, but Pirates of the Caribbean 1, original recipe Pirates of the Caribbean, that came out in 2003, not 2004. You can't pick that one. Your list is all wrong. Guess what? It's my list. I can do whatever I want. I'm a rogue agent. I'm like Mr. Impossible, played by Tom Cruise in those Mission Impossible movies. I'm a loose agent. I'm rogue. I'm going rogue. I can do whatever I want with this list. I'm like Harry Potter breaking the rules, where instead of getting punished for breaking the rules, Dumbledore's just like, good work, Harry Potter. 10 points to Gryffindor. 2005, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. You turned her against me. You have done that yourself. Dun, 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 dun. Need I say more? 2006, Casino Royale. I love this film so much. It's the perfect James Bond film. It's easily my favorite Bond film, and Daniel Craig is easily my favorite Bond. There is so much this film does well. We've got a brilliant villain in Mads Mikkelsen with his bleeding eye. We've got exceptional action scenes. There's the bit where the car flips 1,700,000 times. There's that bit where they're punching and he almost dies, and then he gets back into the poker game, and he's all like, oh, that last card, almost killed me. There's so many great fun plays on the classic James Bond lines. Every single performance is really amazing. The film looks beautiful, and most importantly, it made parkour really, really popular for a couple of years, which was just spectacular. And let's not forget those little blue shorts he wears. And he gets out of the water, and he's just got blue shorts on, and everyone's like, oh, look at him, he's a sexy James Bond. Every single summer, I go to the beach with my little blue shorts, and I try to pull off that look, and every year I'm disappointed with the glances I get. They're not the looks that Daniel Craig gets in that scene. That's for sure. 2007, Hot Fuzz. This is a perfect movie. Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors, but particularly with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost in that Cornetto Blood trilogy thingy. Those 3 films, this is the peak of Edgar Wright just nailing everything about his Edgar Wrightness. All the quick editing, the really fast, snappy dialogue, but it's also like a perfect comedy and a perfect action film. And it does both of them so well. It's so fun. I could put this film on at any time. It might be my favorite comedy. I love every single aspect of this film. And then that last half of the movie where it turns and it twists and it does all that big reveal-y stuff. Love it! 2008, The Dark Knight. Mostly for Heath Ledger's performance alone, but pretty much every other aspect of this film is perfect. I love every single aspect of this film. I particularly love when everyone keeps looking at Batman and they're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm vengeance. Wait, am I thinking about a different Batman film? 2009, Inglourious Bastards. Mostly for Brad Pitt's performance alone, but there are other good aspects of this film. I love this film. Most of the scenes are amazing. It is a classic Tarantino film. You know, a scene builds up and then it ends the way most Tarantino scenes end, but I just think he's kind of firing on all cylinders, doing everything right. The dialogue is snappy, the characters and the actors are amazing, and, you know, to quote Brad Pitt, who's quoting Tarantino, maybe it's my masterpiece. It's not my favorite of his, but I do think it is a masterpiece. 2010, The Social Network. This is a perfect film. I love every single aspect of this film. Every single actor in it is amazing. We've got David Fincher and Aaron Sorkin, who are both masters of their crafts, and they've just collaborated in this incredible, fantastic film that is just like, for every single second of it, perfect. I love it so much. The soundtrack is brilliant. It's so beautiful and melancholy, and just, there is nothing wrong with this film. It is so good, but probably the highlight is how there was that one actor and then they cloned him. So there were 2 actors and there's 2 of them and they're both rowing the boat in that rowing scene. It looks so good. 2011, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. I love every single Harry Potter film. It's kind of a miracle that so many of them are so amazing, but this film was the only one where I'm like, it is kind of my favorite film of that year. So in a way, I do love the finale. I love that it ends so satisfyingly. It's just an emotional roller coaster. The whole film, I'm like almost crying because it's just so emotionally satisfying to have it all come to an end. There's the big dragon at the start, and then Voldemort at that one bit's like, I love it. I love everything about it. But this kind of being put in this place, I'm kind of cheating, and it's a bit of like a Lifetime Achievement Award for all the Harry Potter films. In particular, the second one, Part 1 of the Deathly Hallows, and Part 2, I love. But they're all amazing. They're all truly, truly amazing. I'm going to make a video on them, but last time I recorded it, it was 90 minutes, and I'm like, that's That's too much Harry Potter talk, that's for sure. 2012, Django Unchained. This is my favorite Tarantino film. I love this so much. It's such a great Western. It's such a great revenge flick. Every single action scene is incredible. Is it an act too long? 100%. But the fourth act is amazing. The fight scenes and the shootouts are just spectacular. The soundtrack from minute 1 to the minute 700 when it finishes is perfect. The soundtrack is amazing. I listened to it for like 4 years after the film. I love it so much. Everything about this film is just like, oh, but except for the racism. Obviously the racism is bad. That's why it's good. They'll get shot in the head. It's just wanted to clarify that. 2013, The Day of the Doctor. The Day of the Doctor? Isn't that a Doctor Who episode? That's not a movie. It came out in the cinemas. It counts. I'm breaking the rules. I'm a rule breaker. I'm like Harry Potter. When I break the rules, I don't get in trouble. Dumbledore's just like, 10 points for Gryffindor! I love Doctor Who, but I particularly love Matt Smith's Doctor Who, but the culmination of all of them, and you got the 2 young doctors, but an old grizzly doctor, and the way it all blends together, it's so much fan service, but done in service of the story and the characters, and it's so emotionally satisfying. It's epic, it's grand, but it doesn't, get distracted with all that, and it tells a really great, emotional, incredibly satisfying Doctor Who story. There aren't many films where I just have goosebumps on my goosebumps on my goosebumps, just in tantalizing just awe of a thing than The Day of the Doctor. It is perfect in every way. I love it so much. It's kind of a miracle that it works on any level. The fact that it's maybe my favorite Doctor Who episode. 2014, Kingsman, The Secret Service. The young, sexy spy man. He's like young James Bond. It's the Alex Rider movie we all deserved that we never got. I love everything about this film. The action is so energetic and frantic, and it's just so unique. That church scene is spectacular, but it has such a rich emotional core with the main characters. It's such a satisfying story. Samuel L. Jackson is chewing up scenery as the villain. Everything about it is amazing. But I'm gonna have to go a little bit rogue again. Tom Cruise is Mr. Impossible. I'm doing the whole Harry Potter thing. You get it, 10 points, Dumbledore. And I'm gonna break the rules again, because this year I also just absolutely loved Captain America 2: The Winter Soldier. It's a perfect action film. It's also emotionally satisfying in every way. It is the best use of the shield. He just throws it about all the time. It's so good. I couldn't decide between the 2 films, so I'm doing them both. And you get it. I'm rogue. Harry Potter, Dumbledore, 10 points. I'm breaking the rules. I'm a rule breaker. Woo. 2015, Mad Max Fury Road. This film is just adrenaline shot into your eyeballs. It is visually spectacular. The soundtrack is amazing. It's just a 2-hour car chase, but it's got a story and it's well crafted. The performances are amazing. The action is impossibly good. So much of it looks so real. And as an Australian, I cannot wait for the time in 20 years where we've run out of gas and petrol and all the things and diesel or whatever, and we're all running about and we've got to the chrome thingy and we're all just like, Witness! 2016, Pop Stars Never Stop Stopping. This is my favorite comedy. This is a perfect film. I love every single second of it. I love Lonely Island. When they came out and they originally did it's a dick in the box and whatever, it wasn't my favorite thing, but suddenly just at one point in my life, I got obsessed, listened to every single song for a million years, and then suddenly this film was released and it feels like a perfect culmination of all their musical kind of prowess and silly little jokes and stuff, but it's also just an amazing satire of the music industry. The performances are amazing. Andy Samberg is just incredible. So funny. The music is so funny, but also catchy and awesome. I love the soundtrack. It's a fantastic film, and it's probably the most underrated film that I've ever seen. Nobody's seen it, no one's heard of it, no one likes it, but it's perfect. It's amazing. Every single second of it is just brilliant. 2017, Get Out is what every film should do, because Thor Ragnarok came out this year. It is awesome. As a huge Dark World apologist, I love that everyone loves Thor now because of this movie. It's bright, it's colorful, it's got Taika Waititi doing all the things. He's a big rock man. He's like, don't be afraid, I'm a rock man. It's so funny. If anything, maybe it's a little too funny, and sometimes the humor detracts from the really, really strong emotional bits that maybe should have been powerfuler. But regardless, it's an amazing film. I love it. Thor and Hulk, they do a punchy punch, and what's better than people doing a punchy punch sometimes? 2018, Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse. This is my favorite Spider-Man movie. The soundtrack is brilliant. The animation is so inventive and different and brilliant. All the characters are so good, and it's just so great seeing so many Spider-Man, and one Spider-Man's like, phew, 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 phew. I've got a tragic backstory. Then the other one's like, pew, 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 pew. I've also got a tragic backstory. Let's team up and go pew, pew, pew together. It's brilliant, amazing. I love every single aspect of it. And this is going to be the last time I do it, because I'm Mr. Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible. I'm going rogue. Harry Potter, Dumbledore points. You get it. I'm breaking the rules. But I gotta break the rules again, because this year, Infinity War came out. Avengers 3, Infinity War. There's a big purple man, and he's got a glove, and he's like, screw you. I'm gonna bloody destroy half of you because of balance or whatever. Look at my glove. I'm a big purple man, and I just love it. It's crazy. I don't understand how that film works, but I just love every single aspect of it. It's just crazy. Big man, purple glove. What more do you want? Honestly, more Captain America in that movie. That's probably my biggest takeaway. More Captain America in everything, really. 2019, Parasite. This film is brilliant on every single level. The writing, the acting, the story. It's just such a brilliant story about like class divide and this and that and other themes. I don't know. The list is getting long. I'm getting very tired, and I'm suddenly realizing 28 films. I'm 28. I'm almost 30. Existential dread definitely not kicking in. 2020, The Invisible Man. From the very first second of this movie, I was just so tense. Just so horribly tense. It's got such a menacing, the feeling of this film was so unpleasant. It's such a great horror film. So much of the film, you're just like looking at empty space being like, where's the Invisible Man? I can't see him because he's invisible. 2021, The Suicide Squad. So apparently, if you make a movie and it's bad and you want to do a remake / reboot / sequel or whatever the hell it is, just add the. Just add that to it and you fixed it. Or maybe write a competent film, David Ayer. I know he said it was studio interference, but I don't believe you. That movie was the worst thing I've ever seen. Whereas this is incredible. The Suicide Squad should always be a great film. It's such a great concept, putting chips in villains' heads and making them do good things, but it's got a big shark man, it's got a big starfish thingy. What doesn't this film have? There's literally a character and she's like, what's your power? I don't know, I get rats to run about me and like they do my bidding or whatever. I love it! 2022, The Batman. And once again, if you have a bad film without the in front of it, just put the in front of it. Hot takes. I don't like Tim Burton's Batman. Hot take. Come at me in the comments. Please don't. It's more of a joke. The film is fine. But all jokes aside, I love the Batman. The soundtrack, the visuals, the lighting. The lighting. I couldn't get over the lighting. The film looks so good. The Batsuit looks amazing. And my favorite bit is how all the characters keep looking at Batman and they're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Batman. Wait, am I thinking of a different Batman film? Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and tell me which film is your favorite from each year of your life or whatever. Do the thing I did, but in the comments, and tell me which films I got wrong or which films I got right. But bloody hit me up.